657. Okay. Call the meeting to order. Join me for the pledge, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome everybody. Hopefully everything's working and we're on video and live and everything that goes with that. Let's start with the roll call vote, please.
Callahan? Here. Houston?
Here.
Hannah?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Brusader?
Here.
O'Laughlin?
Yes.
Jensen?
Yes.
Next, I need a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 7-0. Next, we move to the public comments. Is there any public comment cards back there, Brian? Okay. Susie, do you have anything?
I don't have
Hearing none, we'll move on to the proclamation then. We don't have anybody here from the VFW Ladies Auxiliary Post, but this is the Poppy proclamation, which I'll read and then sign, and I think we'll maybe have photos afterwards when they come. Whereas America is the land of freedom, preserved and protected willingly and freely by citizen soldiers. Whereas millions who have answered the call to arms have died in the field of battle. Whereas a nation at peace must be reminded of a price of war and the debt owed to those who have died in war. Whereas a red poppy has been designated a symbol of sacrifice of the lives in all wars, and whereas the VFW Ladies Auxiliary Post 2440 has pledged to remind America annually of this debt through the distribution of the memorial flower. Therefore, I, Brad Bleichner, Mayor of Independence, Buchanan County, Iowa, do hereby proclaim the 25th and 26th of August 2023 as Poppy Days, and ask that all citizens pay tribute to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the name of freedom by wearing and displaying the memorial poppy on these days. And I'm going to sign this now. And you'll take care of my date, right? Okay, next we move to the consent agenda. Before we do the consent agenda, you notice that the Miller Hunting request is also on there as part of the consent agenda. Does anybody want to remove that from the consent agenda at this time? Hearing nothing, we'll move to the motion to accept and approve the consent agenda that approves the following: the minutes of the July 24, 2023 regular meeting and the Miller Hunting request.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
I got something to say about that one. This is the hunting for out at the airport, by the airport?
Or the old Monsanto.
Is this one that come forth from us last year?
Yes, it came
And
from.
we denied it because it was too close to the airport?
No, it's not by the airport.
So is it different than the one we denied last year?
No, there was one that it eventually did get approved because we were waiting on approval from the land.
Written permission.
Yeah.
And
And we have permission this year from the people that's wanting to do it then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 7-0. So you're all set. Next, we move to the financials. I need a motion to approve the claims for payment.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion with regard to the financials and the approval of the claims for payment? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 7-0. Next, we move to the bank reconciliation and the financials. This is for information only. Does anybody have any questions with regard to the bank reconciliation of their financials? Hearing none, we'll move to item C, revenues and expenses to date. Again, this is for discussion, information only. Does anybody have any questions with regard to the revenues and expenses to date with regard to any of the departments? Hearing none, we'll move to the resolutions. First is Resolution A is a council work session versus council committee of the whole. I need a motion to approve a resolution that approves the updated rules of procedure for conduct of city council business.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. As you recall from the the last session that we had. This was something that was discussed. Is there any further discussion with regard to the changing of the name from the Committee of the Whole to the council work session?
Since I wasn't here, and I'm sure people in the audience probably don't know, could you give me a little background on this?
Sure. In the past, we had various board members that were heading up committees. And the purpose of the session, even though it was a work-type session, was for those people to give their reports with regard to the things that they were responsible for within the city. Since we don't really have that form of government and we don't really operate in that manner, what we're really doing at our sessions is we're having a work session. And so we're just going to call it what it is as opposed to calling it what it isn't.
Okay,
Okay?
that makes sense. Thank you.
Anything else that?
You got it.
Okay. So this will be, if there's no further discussion, this is a roll call vote then?
Houston,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Crusader,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Callahan.
Yes.
Okay, it passes 7-0. Next, we move to the item B, which is the homeowner agency repair project 10 approval. I need a motion to approve a homeowner agency repair project for 815 First Avenue Northeast.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion with regard to this. There was a memo in your packet with regard to this.
Are there any others that got to this point but needed additional?
We had, so this one applied late in the process, but due to scheduling, it didn't get verified till after July 1. We had one that was approved, but I never got quotes or anything. And then we did have 2 down payment assistant ones that they're still trying to find a house, so until they come forward and say, hey.
The younger of the two couples didn't find out. I thought they found one.
No, there's been talk of them finding a house and stuff, but they haven't found the right one
Landed
yet. so.
on one.
And do you know right off, Susie, how much money's in that yet for people to come forth to use?
I believe I put it in the memo, but I don't recall. $227,926.
So they can apply anytime, or is there a certain time?
It's usually when we announce that we're doing it, there was nothing actually budgeted for this fiscal year. These were projects that were approved last year, but due to timing and stuff,
This is LMI money, isn't it?
yes.
It is.
So we have that 229 in there, or we don't?
We do have that money in there, but during the budget session or work sessions, council didn't say they wanted to do projects.
So for now, the money's just sitting there.
And so what takes it to be able to get used?
A budget amendment saying at which we would.
So if somebody would
say-
come forth, would we be asked to do that?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is what we have to do for this one, and
Okay.
if the other 2 down payment assistant applicants find
It's
a
kind of hard to
house.
believe that somebody in town wouldn't come forth to ask for it, you know? So there's some needy people for it.
Further discussion with regard to this motion? This is a roll call vote then?
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Crusader,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Callahan. Yes. Houston.
Yes.
Okay, next we move to item 5, which is other business, and this is the homeowner agency repair project 10 contract itself. The first was the award, second is the contract. So I need a motion to approve the homeowner agency repair project contract for 815 First Avenue Northeast.
So move.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion with regard to this. The contract was for the Window World $5,014 for the window and repair replacement. That's the contract that we're dealing with. Any discussion with regard to that project? That'd be a roll call vote then.
Moore,
Yes.
Crusader,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Callahan. Yes. Houston.
Yes.
Hannah.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next, we move to item B, which is the airport farm lease request for, what's the P? What's the P for? RFP?
RFP, request for proposals.
Proposals, okay, thanks. Blank, blank.
Sorry.
Okay. Next, I need a motion to authorize the city manager to place the Independence Airport Farm lease out for bids and to authorize the airport manager to notify the existing tenant of the city's intent to terminate the existing lease.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. There was a memorandum regarding this that you might, that's in your packet. The The staff is recommending that we issue the request for proposal for the farm lease itself. There's also in your packet a copy of the
Existing list.
existing lease itself.
It's currently 253 an acre, I think.
That is correct, and there are 3 parcels. So any further discussion with regard to that?
Isn't there 4 parcels, Susie?
There, so in this current lease, there's 3, but they're actually farming 4 parcels.
Right. So we'll update that to be 4.
Are they getting the fourth one for free, or?
At this time, yeah, because we didn't know. There's 4 parcels.
How large is the 4th parcel? Do you know?
That I do not know right off the top of my head.
Because the first 2 parcels are, well, 2.73, 13.48, and then 35.8 acres, so I just don't know what the size of the 4th one is.
Brett, do you know approximately what size that is?
Just under 10 acres.
Okay.
So,
Whereabouts that at?
well, it's on the other side by the segmented circle. So when I was preparing all this stuff and getting ready, there was 2 acres down by the interstate that nobody ever farmed. So when I first got here, I fenced all that off. Well, now, when you look at the parcels and how they're broke up, somehow that it wasn't disclosed in there. And that was prior me. So we just need to get in and amend that for this next one.
Yeah, we'll update the lease when we enter into a lease for 2024, we'll update it, so make sure I have it all in there.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And this would be from,
It'd be a 3-year lease.
okay,
Right.
okay. Any further discussion with regard to the motion to authorize the manager to place the lease out for the bids, et cetera? Hearing none, we'll move to a roll call vote then.
Persauer,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Callahan. Yes. Houston,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next, we move to item 5C, which is the private septic tank installation. I need a motion to approve the request to install a private septic tank sewage system for 401 14th Avenue Southeast.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Okay, we talked about this at the
Yeah, it's just done.
last meeting. It seems like this is something that's required, that we should do, given the distances between the items. Is there any further discussion with regard to this motion or this issue? Hearing none, we move to a roll call vote.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Callahan. Yes. Houston,
Yes.
Hannah.
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Persauer.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next, we move to item D, which is the Waste Management Services. We have this on the agenda just to have a discussion about some of the issues with regard to Waste Management Services. Matt, did you want to have anything in particular?
I don't have anything in particular for it. We've had a fair amount of notices that bids have been missed, not picked up, things like that. I think some of the council members have had some contact from citizens about things that have been missed, areas that have been missed. So we put this on there just so that we could have a discussion with the council about it and try to maybe come up with a consensus on what we want to do.
We got a call last week from 2 constituents on 3rd Street Southwest between 5th and 6th. This is the 3rd time within a year and a half. No, probably less, probably a year that they've been missed. And it's not just the one constituent, it's several in that. I don't know if there's,
How long does the contract run? Is it
Till June 30th of 2025, I believe.
is everybody aware that they're no longer taking the trash to Illinois? I mean, I don't know if that's allowed. I thought when we signed off on the landfill, one of the things was they had to have the station as they do, and then take it. It's going to Blackhawk County.
Right, and we had talked about this before, and I don't believe that the contract itself specifically says that it has to go there. I think the thought was that it would go to Illinois because that's a site that Waste Management owns. So if they take it to their own site, then it would be cheaper for them. If they want to go to Blackhawk and pay the extra fee, then they're paying the extra fee, not us. So I'm not sure it matters where it goes.
I know, and I thought about that same thing, and then I also thought, well, that would also impact their overall cost, which in turn, they've continued to come back to us regularly for increases,
Well,
beyond the 3%.
and the expectation is that they'll come back again, and the question is, what do we do at that point in time? And I guess that's a discussion that we're going to have at a work session or something else, but we just wanted to give everybody here a chance to talk about what was going on and the fact that we are getting complaints about it. And when we talk to them about it, you know, they assure us that they're on it, and then it's issues, equipment issues, or it's staffing issues, or whatever the case may be, but they're still not, you know, doing it the way that citizens need it done.
So are there other options, or are they all, I mean, have we looked at the
Well,
ratings of the
the pro-
other
the-
options?
Well, the problem is that we're in a contract.
We would have to break the contract.
Well, I
And
would think part of the contract too is they have to fulfill certain obligations.
they absolutely do, and the question is, do we have enough ammunition to seek to, you know, to cancel the contract? And what we've tried to do is we try to set up our Facebook page in a way that when people have complaints, we want them to complain on the city Facebook page, because we're looking for the
Well,
ammunition.
there's a form that we want them to fill out,
There you go.
because that allows us then to collect data that we can then present back to Waste Management that's actual data, not
Conjecture.
conjecture. Exactly, thank you.
Now, the way Waste Management's laid out right now is it's a quarter at a time, but does it state in their contract that they have to pick up, let's say, southeast on a Wednesday? I don't think it states
I don't
that.
believe
I
it's
don't
that
think we get
specific.
in-
I think it's just
Because
their
when I,
schedule. Sorry.
because I was late the last 2 weeks, and when I contacted them, they said they had 2 problems. 2 trucks broke down out on the route, and they also had a person called in sick. So therefore, they didn't have enough equipment or enough help. However, they did get it the next day. And they said, you know, that's the only thing that they can do is once they have a shortage on help or trucks, and they can't get anybody in here in time, they will pick up the next day, but naturally it has to be left out.
Okay, so my question to that would be, is there a better way to communicate to the people of Independence that there is issues like trucks breaking down or people calling in sick?
When Susie puts it on the website, people do seem to see it.
So
like
I
said-
I usually get an email about 4 o'clock on days that they're supposed to be picking up garbage or recycling, that, hey, driver's running late, leave the cans out, we'll get them tomorrow. If they're still not picked up, give us a call, they'll put it on the list. So I put that on our website, the city's Facebook page, and then I also post them on Independence Speaks, We the People, and the Independence, Iowa surrounding area. It's another new one, which, I mean, I'm going above and beyond and posting it on those other 3 Facebook pages.
Absolutely.
Really, our website and our Facebook page, that's my main priority.
Right.
But I'm going to go back to, on there, if you sign up on the city site to receive text, as soon as Susie gets it, you get it on your phone, that there's going to be a delay in recycling or trash, and it does say that, it specifies. That is absolutely the best way to find out, is to sign up on that text program that's on the city site.
There isn't, I've got the
On the front
contract
page
pulled
of
up.
the newspaper.
I've got the contract pulled up in front of me. There is not anything in here that says about what section of the city. We don't get into the metrics. We just,
just
or
one
means and methods. It's just that they have to take all the trash. Now, there is a section regarding transportation and processing, and all it says is that they shall dispose or arrange to dispose of the acceptable solid waste collected under this agreement only at Buchanan County Transfer Station. Where it goes from Buchanan County Transfer Station is outside of this contract. So,
So there would be a cost if they have to pay to put it there, but there'd also be an increased cost taking it over to Illinois too. So it might be a wash for them. It might be cheaper to pay the cost.
Yeah, with fuel, that could be.
right.
My suggestion to the city manager was that we broach the idea of a specific amount of money for missed patrons.
So I checked with a couple cities that I have connections with who also have waste management contracts. Both of those cities have those fees in their contracts. One has a $25 per missed location charge. The other one has a $100 per missed location charge. The latter, that has the $100 charge, is now not in a contract with Waste Management because of how many times they charge that $100 fee back to Waste Management. They've moved on to somebody else.
I think one of the things that we have learned in this is that we now know what we're going to structure in our next RFP.
Correct. Yes.
We've hit enough negatives that we certainly should learn from this one, and we'll, have a better idea when we open this back up in a year to.
Yeah.
I know previous discussion was about the recycling bins out at Waste Management being over full in that, and the question was brought up, how often are they emptying those bins? Has anybody found out about that yet?
I don't have that information.
I don't either.
I just know we were being charged for the overages, and then I
We
asked
asked-
if we can get more dumpsters, but I don't know what their schedule is of when they empty them.
So is that a city or county site?
Oh,
Is it both?
it is now.
Technically, my understanding is it was supposed to be a county thing that the county offers to rural residents. However,
That's how it started.
when the dumpster is completely overflowing, the city gets charged for it. We pay
But have
for
we,
it.
since we had them add some additional dumpsters, I don't remember seeing an invoice
I
since
have
we
not
have
gotten any
asked for
emails
that.
saying, hey, this dumpster is really full. Heads
Right.
up, you're gonna get a
Yeah.
ding on your next bill. I
So
haven't
hopefully
gotten
that
any.
helped.
And using it weekly, I've not seen them at the volumes that we had here in the last couple, 3 months.
No.
Yeah.
And I'm up there once a week too.
I mean, it just comes down to people breaking down their cardboard boxes and stuff. If that gets done, then you can fit more in. Or if you feel like a road trip, you go up into Fayette County. There's lots of the big blue bins up in Owine. They have them there.
Yeah.
I think they've got 2 cardboard and 2 of the other stuff.
Who's providing service to Old Wayne?
It's Fayette County landfill that does them. I'm just saying, if you've got a lot of cardboard and if Waste Management's full,
Sure.
Old Wine's not that far.
But now they put the 2 bins in, they just put in, the lids just flip open.
Yeah.
They don't have the slots, so they're just asking to have everybody put whatever in there.
What, are they supposed to be, is that site supposed to be for plastic and cans and everything?
It's for any
Any
recyclable.
recycling?
Anything recyclable?
I think people in town pretty much use it for cardboard because they can't get in their garbage can, but
Yeah.
the county brings in everything.
Yeah.
Well, some of them do, so they don't probably have garbage at their house.
Okay, further discussion with regard to Waste Management Services, and then is there anything that you guys want us to do with this? Do you want us to put it on for a further discussion at some other time period? Would that?
That would be my suggestion.
Do we need to look at what options we have available? Because it might be that there aren't any other options that are viable. I don't know.
There's other carriers that have expressed interest in the contract. It's just we can't get out of the contract until 2025.
Well, okay, if we get out of the contract, it would be good to have a backup.
Sure.
And a good understanding of what needs to go into it in case things go south again.
My suggestion, if this is something that we want to pursue, not necessarily trying to break the current contract, but waiting until this one is concluded, since it expires on June 30th of 25, I would say in January of 25 is when we need to start having some serious discussions about what we want to make sure we have in the RFP, get it out by the beginning of February, so that everybody has a chance to submit on it, because Waste Management's going to submit on it too. I would expect they will.
Yeah.
But make sure that there's plenty of time for everybody to submit on it, and then with the intention that July 1st would be the cutover date.
But I think we should also include in that RFP, the things you talked about are with the remuneration per patron.
The benefit of being the one who's authoring the RFP is you can put whatever terms you want in there.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
yeah.
So,
Well, and that
Do we wanna-
it's Waste Management's responsibility to have functioning vehicles too.
Yeah.
You know, this breaking down business is getting tired.
Well, but to be fair, you also have to look at the age of the vehicles. And wintertime, they're all diesel. Winter and diesel vehicles do not mix.
But they're a nationwide company too.
And the other side of
Some
the
have
coin.
better equipment than others. Everybody gets hand-me-downs. I think Independence gets the hand-me-downs.
And the other side of the coin is, when a vehicle breaks down, when we did not have a work shortage at all, you could get something repaired yet that day. Now you have supply chain problems, and you have a workforce problem, not only just for Waste Management, for majority of all businesses, period. And so it just snowballs. So what we have to do in our situation that we're in today's world is we have to be patient. you know, and on your contract where you have a $25 fee or whatever, what is considered missed? The day that they normally hit it, or do they have until the end of the week to pick it up?
Those are the things that when we offer that RFP, we want to make sure we're very clear about what.
Exactly,
we missed.
because otherwise you still have an open gate.
Correct.
All right, so the question now to you is, do we want to put this on the work session for the beginning of September, or do we want to wait another month or two? Because we've got a year and a few months before we actually have to worry about the RFP. But I don't want to let this get away from us so that we stop talking about it and stop thinking about it, because we're going to have continuing complaints. It's just a matter of making sure that we find a way to
Decrease.
process those.
How about October?
I would love to put it out a couple of months, and I think then at that point, when we do put it on the work session agenda, I'd like to have compiled information of what we have received from our residents as far as the form is concerned. I will try to share that form link as well to all of my friends and publicly to see if we can't get people to start utilizing that.
Now, the other option that we have, and I don't know whether anybody wants to pursue it or not, is if we ask them to come to our work session in October or November or whatever it was, I'm sure they would come.
Yep.
But, is there,
They came in force last time, and we got no answers, just a lot of hot air.
okay, up to you, whatever you want to do.
No.
All right.
They took
I-
care of
I
my
might-
problem right away.
I myself, I think, wait until January, you're only looking at 4 months down the road, see what information gets compiled, how our complaints are our citizens turning in those forms like, we are presenting, and see where we're at there. I mean, otherwise, if you just go hopscotch like every other month or something like that, get a 4-month track record of documented information, is my personal feeling.
Are you tracking phone calls too then?
Yeah, when they call in, we
Because some
reach
people,
out to Waste Management and then we submit a form.
some people don't want to go that paper route and fill that out. and-
Well, it's not paper, it's all online.
Well, even that, I mean,
Yeah.
just, a phone call for some people would be easier.
So we just need to say publicly, we need your help.
Yeah.
If you want something to change, we need you to take the time and either fill out the paper or electronically, or make the phone call.
Absolutely.
Okay, so is
We
everybody?
need the data. That's really what it boils down to, is we need the data. We're happy to approach Waste Management and see what we
Yeah.
can do.
Something needs to change, we know
need
it.
Solid data to do that.
So if
And
they
if
call
we have-
us, does that count if we?
But we
turn
need
it
to
into
call
you?
Susie and say, hey,
Call
I got
City
a call.
Hall.
You
rather have them
basically
call City Hall.
Call City Hall.
Some people don't even want to do that. I mean,
Well, if
Then
you don't,
we
if
can't
you don't want
track
to,
it.
if you don't want to call City Hall and you don't want to fill out the paperwork, then don't complain. Because we
that's
get
what my
with,
council person's for. You get that answer.
or they,
We are in the council.
yeah, but, or they can
Big deal if we make
con,
Wait a minute.
or they could contact the council person,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
absolutely, in their ward, but we need the information so we can compile data, so we know what we're doing when we go to Waste Management with a firm situation.
So could
So-
Deb fill out the council information on somebody who calls her and doesn't want to do it?
Yes, as long as she provides the full information in terms of who it is, what their address is, and what the specific claim is, yes.
Okay,
It can't just be that somebody called me, it has to be
Right.
specifics, yes.
okay.
Okay, so are we good with?
We need,
Sorry.
also with that, we need timely data. And what I mean by that is, if somebody calls you and says, hey, my trash was missed on Monday, I don't expect that any of you would do this, but don't wait till the next Monday to tell us that. Make sure that you submit the form or tell us, or whatever you're going to do, relatively within 24 or 36 hours, so that we can make sure that, because realistically, when we start compiling that data, that's what we're going to look at, is how many complaints did we get this week? Well, we're going to take a time section of that data, and it's going to be dependent on when it was submitted. So we need that to be accurate as it can be also.
I'm gonna stop tomorrow and talk to the 4 constituents that I spoke of on Third Street and ask them to go to the site and fill out a form.
Yeah.
And also to detail the other times within the last, I'm gonna tell them within the last, not about
Sounds good.
wash, but within the last quarter,
Yep.
how many times have you been missed?
That sounds good, Mike.
Sounds great.
Okay, so we'll put this on the agenda then for the work session, the first work session in January. So that'd be the new swearing in of the 4 positions that are open as well. I don't think it's going to be a long meeting anyway, but we'll do it at that point. Okay, moving on then, in terms of council members, do any of you have anything specific, shout-outs to people, groups, anything that you'd like to talk about, items that you would like to have talked about at a future meeting, anything along those lines? Catherine start?
I did give you that sheet on some monies that are available at the state level, and I don't know if that's what we've already applied for, if that's something new.
So that was something that a couple of the local developers were going to apply for, and then they backed away from once they started putting costs together.
Okay,
So that's the reason it did not move forward here.
okay.
We were aware of it, though. Thank you, though.
Yes.
Okay.
But thank you for asking.
Sure. And then I know that there was been a lot of stuff about the underground city, and that is Saturday, August 19th from 10 to 2.
Yes, and I think you sign up at the mill is where you go in, and
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. What
I
are-
believe it's $10 per person, $20 per family, immediate family. I believe that's what I read from the Facebook. So if you believe everything that's on Facebook, then that's the information for you.
Well, and that's where I saw that people were asking about this, and I thought, oh, I think I have that, and I did find it in my notes, but I just thought we should reiterate it.
It is for Saturday.
Okay. I had one other thing, if we could check on, I did have somebody call me and talk with me about single-family homes and multiple families living in a single, more than one family living in a single family.
So you want to know about the zoning issue then?
What is the zoning issue is what they asked me, and I said, I really don't know for independent, so I would ask that we check that out.
Okay, Matt's making a note of it.
Okay.
He'll work on that.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I've been contacting some of our congressional representatives, haven't heard anything back from our Iowa delegation, but 2 others from other states that I've worked with have sent back information on build back better wastewater treatment plant. The cost is estimated at $37 million, so we're going to need some grants.
Yes, we are. Absolutely. Anything else? This side of it?
I got a public apology to Deb.
Oh, I thought you were going to apologize to me.
Why?
Nothing, no, I'm just kidding.
Because last session, she was talking about the dog waste on the trail, and I didn't think it was a problem, but I asked a couple people that also walk the trail more than I do, and they said, yes, it is a concern.
Right. And we are looking into it. Matt, you want to?
Yeah, so Bob and I talked about putting up, he thinks he's got one of the old way stations from back however long ago they used to have. And there used to be a library, a small, like, little neighborhood library at, like, 4th Street roughly in the trail. And he said the post is still there from that library, so he's going to attach that way station to that, and we're going to start with
Exactly what
that.
you're talking
At
about.
least have some bags out there for people to be able to use to start to try to do
You
something.
can put them out there, but whether
I know.
people will use them,
I know, but
you know,
but at least that way they're there.
you're always going to have, it's like chewing gum on the sidewalks.
Yeah.
Got to watch for that. And
Oh, yeah.
So, but we'll start with that, and I think he said he's got bags and stuff from back when we used to have them out there, so we'll start there. That's a low cost to no cost option.
so I apologize, Deb. And,
I walked it, I seen it, and smelt it.
well, I felt like we needed to go with the state crime lab to have them analyze it to see whether it was really dog or if it was human or what animal was involved
All right, Tom.
with.
Moving on, anything?
But
I'm going
shout
dog.
out,
Right.
shout out to my youngest son. They're getting married this Saturday.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Mark, do you have anything specific that's going on that you can report to us, or is everything pretty much under control?
Everything's under control. The application tonight for the street project, so at this point, we're waiting for the mill and overlay to come in, wrap that project up, and waiting for Bowker to come back on 12th.
Is there anything else behind that project that's coming up that you know of?
We're working on the plans and specifications for the complex turf project.
Okay.
I think we have a meeting scheduled in a week or 10 days with Matt and Bob to review those plans at a 90%, 95% level. So that project's actively underway.
Okay. Sounds good, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Sue, anything?
No.
Matt?
I don't have anything other than I will be out of the office on Friday.
Okay.
My wife's birthday, so I'll let you guys tell her no.
Bring your wife's work day?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay, and I don't have anything other than, want to come forward. We did read the proclamation already, and I've already signed it,
Can we,
We're
so
not adjourned yet.
we're not adjourned yet, but did you want to pass those out? How would you do it? Sure.
So I have one from
No, I want you I want to see what you do on the record. Need a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.